Get ready, 2026 Dolby Atmos Soundbar lineup is absolutely stacked. With the latest models, you can get cinematic surround sound, booming bass, and crystal clear dialogue all from one sleek unit. Whether you're watching blockbuster movies, gaming, or streaming music, the right soundbar can totally transform your setup. Let's dive into the top 15 Dolby Atmos soundbars of 2026 and find your perfect match. Don't forget to check out the product links in the description below each video for easy access to purchase your favorite tech products. 15 JBL Bar 700 MK2. The JBL Bar 700 MK2 delivers an impressive all-in-one surround sound experience, with a full 7.1-channel design that includes a sizable 10-inch wireless subwoofer and detachable wireless rear speakers. With up to 780 W total output power, it brings strong, room-filling audio, bass is deep and impactful, mid-range stays balanced, and highs remain clear. Its support for Dolby Atmos, via virtualization, plus JBL's Multibeam 3.0 processing, makes sound feel more expansive than typical soundbars. Directionality, ambient effects, and surround cues are convincingly rendered so movies, games, and music feel more cinematic. Dialogue remains intelligible even during loud scenes thanks to Pure Voice 2.0, which helps raise vocal clarity automatically. Streaming and modern convenience are well covered too. HDMI Arc with 4K/Dolby Vision pass-through, wireless streaming support, and integration with multiple ecosystems make setup simple and flexible. That said, there are trade-offs that come with the convenience and compact form factor. Because height effects rely on virtualized Atmos rather than actual upfiring drivers, the overhead audio dimension is less precise. You get a broad sense of space, but not the pinpoint overhead realism you'd get with ceiling speakers or a full discrete Atmos rig. Number 14 Vizio 2.0 SV200M Soundbar. On the plus side, the Vizio SV200M is a smart, compact 2.0 soundbar that gives a clear and noticeable upgrade over TV speakers, especially for apartments, bedrooms, or small to medium living rooms. Its two full-range drivers deliver a clean, balanced sound with decent clarity for dialogue, music, and everyday viewing. It supports Dolby Atmos and DTS-X via virtualization and DTS Virtual X, giving a modest sense of spatial depth and height, which can make movies or shows feel more immersive than plain stereo. It's also very easy to set up. A single HDMI ARC connection, or Bluetooth, is enough, and for many users, the quick installation, slim profile, and plug-and-play simplicity make it an appealing first soundbar or an inexpensive upgrade. The design is sleek and unobtrusive, so it integrates nicely under most TVs without dominating the room. The SV200M is a good, budget-friendly choice if you want a simple, straightforward way to improve TV audio or music playback, especially in small to mid-sized rooms, with easy setup and better sound than built-in speakers. But if your goal is deep bass, rich cinematic surround, or heavy-duty home theater performance, you'll likely outgrow it quickly and want to consider a bar with subwoofer support or a multi-speaker system. Number 13 Bose Lifestyle 650. From the moment you power up the Lifestyle 650, it's clear this is a premium, thoughtfully engineered home cinema system. Its tiny satellite speakers, the Omni-Jewel drivers, are extremely compact yet, thanks to their dual driver/dual enclosure design, manage to produce surprisingly full and spacious sound. Voices remain clear and natural, ambient effects wrap convincingly around you, and directional cues, left/right/rear, stay surprisingly precise for such small speaker units. The wireless rear speakers and bass modules simplify placement considerably, no messy wires stretching across the room, while the powerful Acoustimus bass module and quiet port design deliver strong low-end for music, explosions, and cinematic effects, giving many movies and soundtracks the weight and depth associated with larger speaker rigs. The sleek glasstop console is also impressive, 6 HDMI inputs, optical/coaxial and analog inputs, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and AirPlay support, via the system's built-in streaming ecosystem, make it a highly versatile hub for TV, Blu-ray, gaming, music streaming or vinyl setups. For a clean, elegant, turn-on-and-forget home theater solution, the Lifestyle 650 ranks among the most refined and user-friendly systems, especially for medium to large living rooms where space and aesthetics matter. That said, and realistically, the Lifestyle 650 isn't perfect, especially if you're a power user or a bass head chasing earth-shaking lows. Because the satellite speakers are very small and the overall system is tuned toward a balanced, home-friendly sound signature, the deepest sub-bass, the kind that shakes the floor or gives you visceral, theater-like rumble, doesn't quite reach what a large, dedicated subwoofer, or dual-sub setup, can offer. Number 12 Polk Audio Signa S4. The Signa S4 delivers a surprisingly strong sound upgrade compared with built-in TV speakers, especially given its price point. As a 3.1.2 channel soundbar with a wireless subwoofer and upward-firing drivers, it supports Dolby Atmos content, and for movies and shows with Atmos, it does a decent job creating a sense of height and immersive sound. Dialogue stays clear thanks to a dedicated center channel, and bass from the subwoofer adds weight and punch to explosions, music bass lines, or cinematic effects. The soundbar's voice adjust feature is helpful when watching dialogue-heavy content or news, and the included night or movie modes make it easy to optimize sound depending on what you're watching. Setup is also quite simple. The sub connects wirelessly and a single HDMI ARC or optical cable, for non-Atmos sources, gets everything running, which makes Signa S4 a good plug-and-play upgrade for living rooms or moderate-sized spaces. That said, the Signa S4 has some limitations you should know if you want full home theater realism or deep bass performance. Because it lacks dedicated rear surround speakers, multidirectional sounds tend to stay in the front/horizontal plane. Surround effects aren't as wide or stepping inside the scene, convincing as in systems with rear channels. Its bass, while solid for its class, doesn't dig as deep as a large standalone subwoofer, so you may miss the deepest frequencies needed for very bass-heavy movies or music. Also, there's no built-in Wi-Fi, streaming, or high-end codec support. You get basic Bluetooth connectivity at best, so it's not ideal as a standalone music streamer for audiophiles. Number 11 Sony Bravia Theater Bar 9. The Sony Bravia Theater Bar 9 is a flagship-level soundbar that aims to deliver cinema-class surround sound from a single unit. With 13 individual speaker drivers, including front, center, up-firing, side-firing, and quad-woofer channels, and support for modern audio formats like Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, and even IMAX Enhanced, it creates a surprisingly spacious and immersive sound field for movies, shows, and gaming. Its 360 spatial sound mapping technology cleverly uses those drivers to simulate a full surround setup, bouncing sound off ceilings and walls to give a sense of height and enveloping ambience even without physical rear or ceiling speakers. Dialogue stays clear and anchored thanks to a dedicated center channel, highs remain crisp, and the built-in woofers offer respectable bass depth that adds weight to explosions, music, and cinematic soundscapes. On top of that, the Bar 9 offers HDMI 2.1 pass-through, 4K per 120 Hz and 8K ready, making it friendly for next-gen gaming or UHD streaming, and includes modern conveniences like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, AirPlay/Spotify Connect, and streaming integration, so it's as suitable for casual movies as for high-fidelity media listening or gaming. That said, the Bar 9 does show some limitations, especially when used without the optional subwoofer or rear speaker add-ons. On its own, many users note that low-frequency punch is limited and deep, chest-shaking bass is lacking, action scenes or bass-heavy tracks can feel a bit restrained compared to a full multi-speaker rig or a soundbar with a strong external subwoofer. Number 10 Sony HT-S2000. The Sony HT-S2000 succeeds as a compact yet surprisingly capable 3.1-channel soundbar that dramatically upgrades TV and movie audio compared with built-in speakers. Its built-in dual woofers and center speaker deliver clear dialogue, respectable bass, and a balanced sound profile that works for both films and music. Thanks to Sony's virtual surround processing, the combination of vertical surround engine and S-Force Pro front surround, the HT-S2000 can create a sense of height and width even without dedicated rear or up-firing drivers, so Dolby Atmos or DTS-X content feels more immersive than you'd expect from a simple bar. For small to medium living rooms, it's particularly appealing. It's easy to set up, just connect via HDMI ARC or optical, doesn't require extra boxes or wiring, and stays compact under your TV while delivering a soundstage that's significantly wider and deeper than most TVs produce on their own. That said, the HT-S2000 has clear trade-offs compared with more advanced or fully discrete speaker systems. Because it's using virtual surround rather than physical upfiring or rear speakers, the sense of surround and spatial precision is limited. Overhead effects and directional cues don't feel as realistic or well-defined as in a full multi-speaker Dolby Atmos setup. The bass, while decent for a built-in bar, lacks the lowest rumble and physical impact that a separate subwoofer or dual sub setup can provide, so for heavy action movies or bass-heavy music, the low-frequency depth may feel modest. Also, streaming options are limited. There's no built-in Wi-Fi, AirPlay, or advanced streaming platform support, only Bluetooth for wireless audio, so you may need external devices for more flexible streaming. Number 9 Sennheiser Ambeo Soundbar Max. From the moment you power it up, the Ambeo Soundbar distinguishes itself as perhaps the most ambitious single-unit home theater sound system on the market. With its 13-driver design, including forward dash, side dash, and upward-firing speakers, and built-in 500W amplifier, it creates an impressively wide, tall, and detailed soundstage that many simpler soundbars simply can't touch. Dialogue stays crystal clear, highs are crisp and lively, mids are balanced and rich, and bass, without even connecting an external subwoofer, has enough body and presence to give movies, music, and games a sense of scale and weight. When you play Dolby Atmos or DTS-X content, effects often feel like they envelop you. Overhead effects, ambient noises, and environmental cues are rendered with convincing height and space, making films feel cinematic even in a living room. For music too, the bar performs beautifully, stereo tracks take on a wide, airy feeling, instruments and vocals are well separated, and the overall tonality tends to remain natural and neutral rather than overly colored or exaggerated. What's more, for many people the enormous sound output and dynamic range mean you rarely feel the need for external amplification or additional boxes, exactly what a minimalist but powerful home theater dream looks like. The Ambeo Soundbar is arguably one of the best all-in-one soundbars out there. It delivers room-filling, detailed audio and surprisingly robust bass for a standalone unit, with impressive Atmos/3D sound processing and flexibility for both movies and music. Number 8. Nakamichi Shockwave Ultra. The Shockwave Ultra stands out because it tries to do something very ambitious for a soundbar-based system, with a large front bar, for dedicated rear surround speakers, and dual 10 wireless subwoofers. It delivers a surprisingly full and room-filling home theater experience. When everything is configured properly, movies and games feel cinematic, explosions hit hard, ambient effects envelop you, and spatial cues from behind and above often feel convincingly immersive. The bass from the two subs has real impact, giving dramatic low-end weight to action scenes and scores that many single-bar or 2.1 systems simply can't match. Also, the flexible connectivity, HDMI eARC for modern TVs, multiple inputs, and support for Dolby Atmos/DTS-X, alongside the included surround speakers makes the Shockwave Ultra a receiver-free way to approximate a surround rig without the usual cable mess. That said, the Shockwave Ultra also shows some of the trade-offs that come with cramming so many channels into a relatively compact package. Because much of the surround and height are handled by a mix of angled drivers and virtual bouncing rather than discrete ceiling or widely spaced surrounds, the spatial precision and positional accuracy, especially for height/overhead effects, sometimes feel less object-based and more generalized, which means subtle sound cues, rain, distant footsteps, overhead debris, don't always land distinctly. Number 7. Sonos Beam Gen 2. The Sonos Beam Gen 2 strikes a strong balance between compact design, easy setup, and surprisingly rich audio for its size. Its internal drivers, 4 midwoofers, a center tweeter, and passive radiators, paired with 5 Class D amps, deliver clean, balanced sound. Dialogue is clear and natural, mids and highs stay detailed, and bass is reasonably firm and full for a bar without a subwoofer. The support for Dolby Atmos spatial audio gives movies and shows a notably more open soundstage than standard stereo bars, adding a sense of depth and ambient ambience that helps heighten immersion even in a modest living room. On top of that, it's extremely user-friendly, connection is simple, HDMI eARC or provided optical adapter, setup is fast through the Sonos app, and features like adaptive TruePlay tuning on iOS, support for voice assistants, AirPlay 2, and streaming services make it behave like a modern, smart home audio hub more than just a soundbar. For small to medium rooms or apartments, Beam Gen 2 offers a big audio uplift compared with TV speakers without clutter, wires, or complicated configuration. That said, the Beam Gen 2 has its natural limitations, and for some users, those may matter. Without a dedicated subwoofer, the deepest bass frequencies remain modest. Explosions, deep cinematic bass, or bass-heavy music tracks won't shake the room the way a system with a subwoofer or larger woofer might. The Dolby Atmos height and spatial effects are virtual rather than coming from upfiring or rear speakers, so the overhead cues and immersive placement precision aren't as pronounced as a full multi-speaker surround or Atmos rig. Number 6. Samsung HW Q990C. The HW Q990C is one of the top-tier all-in-one soundbar systems you can buy, and it lives up to that reputation. With an 11.1.4 channel setup and a total output of around 656 W, it delivers a full, enveloping Dolby Atmos/DTS-X soundstage. Sound moves convincingly from front to back, side to side, and even overhead, giving a true cinema in the living room feel. Its large dedicated subwoofer and wireless rear speakers add real depth and spatial immersion. Explosions hit hard, ambient effects surround you, and directional cues, like objects falling, footsteps, overhead effects, feel natural and well localized. Dialogue remains clear, even during loud, chaotic scenes, thanks to the dedicated center channel and voice-enhancing features. The system handles movies, shows, and gaming with authority, wide soundstage, strong bass, detailed mids and highs, and plenty of volume without distortion. Setup is also straightforward. The components auto-connect, and features like adaptive sound tuning, SpaceFit Sound Pro, help tailor output to your room for balanced performance. That said, as powerful and capable as the Q990C is, there are a few trade-offs and caveats to keep in mind. First, despite its size and channel count, it doesn't support 4K per 120Hz pass-through or VRR, which makes it less ideal for next-gen gaming if you want maximum video performance directly through the bar. Also, while the bass is strong and generally precise, the very deepest, floor-shaking lows sometimes lack the sheer subsonic punch that some dedicated dual-sub, receiver-based rigs can produce. For high-impact action movies or bass-heavy music, the difference is noticeable. Number 5. Ultimea Skywave X70. The Skywave X70 aims to deliver a full home theater experience in a single, self-contained package. It's a 7.1.4 channel system with a main soundbar, wireless rear speakers, and a 10 subwoofer, designed to support Dolby Atmos and immersive surround sound. The combination of its powerful GAN-based amplifier and Gravis ultralinear bass subwoofer enables deep low-end. The sub is rated down to 20 Hz, which gives movies, games, and bass-heavy music real weight and impact. Surround audio and height effects, via its upfiring drivers, add a convincing sense of space, making ambient sounds, overhead raindrops or flying objects and environmental cues feel noticeably more three-dimensional than typical stereo bars. For living rooms of moderate size, this can indeed deliver a cinema-style soundscape without needing a receiver, multiple wired speakers, or complex setup. The wireless design also keeps cabling minimal and setup relatively straightforward, which is a big plus if you want immersive sound without clutter. That said, the Skywave X70 isn't perfect, and there are some trade-offs to be aware of. Real-world reviews point out that while the bass is powerful, the bar tends to have a heavy low-end bias by default, which can make some mixes feel boomy, especially in music or atmospheres where clarity in mid/high frequencies matters. The treble and higher frequency detail can sound rolled off, reducing crispness on dialogue or complex soundtracks, a drawback if you prefer bright, detailed sound rather than bass-forward warmth. The soundstage width and precision also fall somewhat short of what a full discrete speaker setup or ceiling-mounted Atmos rig can achieve. Height and surround cues are convincing for many scenes, but not always object-accurate, so subtle overhead or directional audio effects may feel more generic than pinpoint. There's also no built-in room correction calibration, which means performance depends heavily on room acoustics, placement of the speakers/sub, and sometimes manual EQ tuning to avoid muddiness or channel imbalance. Number 4. Bose Smart Ultra. The Bose Smart Ultra soundbar stands out as a sleek, modern all-in-one audio solution that brings a lot of convenience and polished sound into a minimalist package. Its build quality, a low-profile, understated design with metal grille and glass-top finish, makes it fit elegantly under a TV, whether wall-mounted or on a media stand. With support for Dolby Atmos and built-in upfiring/side-firing drivers, it can create a surprisingly spacious and immersive feeling soundstage for movies and shows. Its AI dialogue mode does a notably good job of ensuring voices stay crisp and clear even during explosive or action-heavy scenes, which helps a lot when watching films or series with complex sound mixes. Streaming and connectivity are flexible too, with HDMI ARC, optical, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and compatibility with modern streaming services. It works smoothly whether you're watching TV, streaming, or playing console games. For small to medium living rooms or apartments, the Smart Ultra is a very compelling one-box upgrade over typical TV speakers. That said, the Smart Ultra isn't a miracle bullet, and it has weaknesses that become clear depending on expectations, content, and room setup. Without a dedicated subwoofer, optional add-on required, or rear speakers, the bass and surround realism are limited. Low-frequency impact is modest compared to bar plus sub or full multi-speaker systems, so for heavy action movies or bassy music it may feel underpowered. Surround and height effects, while decent, lack the precision and object placement accuracy of a full Atmos setup with ceiling or rear speakers. Overhead effects feel more like ambience than fully three-dimensional audio. Some reviewers also note the default tuning leans slightly bright, which can make high-frequency sounds or loud soundtracks feel a bit sharp or piercing, though this can be mitigated by adjusting treble settings manually. Finally, for music listening, especially genres that demand deep bass and fine low-end detail, the lack of a strong subwoofer or external bass module limits the system's ability to deliver the full power and depth many audiophiles look for. Number 3. Sonos Arc Ultra. The Sonos Arc Ultra stands out among soundbars for delivering a near-cinematic listening experience while keeping the setup simple and elegant. Thanks to its 14-driver array, incorporating tweeters, midwoofers, and a specialized sound motion woofer, it creates a wide, tall, and rich soundstage that really lets you feel the size and dynamics of movie soundtracks, games, and music. Dialogue remains crisp and clearly centered, even in complex scenes, while effects like ambient noise, movement, and spatial panning often feel immersive and enveloping. Its bass output, while not quite on par with a dedicated subwoofer system, is powerful enough to give dramatic scenes real presence and low-end weight. The integration with streaming services, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, AirPlay 2, and smart home features makes the Arc Ultra more than a soundbar. It becomes a versatile audio hub for movies, music, and TV, combining film-grade audio with everyday convenience. That said, the Arc Ultra does carry some compromises inherent to its all-in-one design. Because all audio, front, side, height and bass, comes from a single enclosure, the spatial precision and object positioning you get from a full multi-speaker surround setup, with separate surround and ceiling/height channels, can't be fully matched. Overhead and surround cues, while impressive for a bar, may feel slightly less distinct or pinned compared with a dedicated 7.1.4 or larger discrete system, especially in acoustically tricky rooms. Similarly, although the built-in woofer produces solid low end, it won't deliver the deepest, chest-shaking sub-bass that dual subwoofer rigs or large subwoofer enclosures can manage, so for bass-heavy music or earth-shaking movie scenes, a supplementary sub might still be desirable. Number 2. Klipsch Flexus Core 300. The Klipsch Flexus Core 300 is an impressive all-in-one soundbar designed to deliver a near-full home theater experience without the need for multiple speakers. Its combination of front-firing drivers, up-firing Dolby Atmos speakers, side-firing channels, a dedicated center channel, and multiple built-in subwoofers creates a rich and immersive audio experience. Dialogue is clear and well-centered, mids and highs are detailed, and the bass hits with surprising depth for a standalone unit. The inclusion of room correction technology helps tailor the sound to your specific space, improving clarity, balance, and overall immersion. Dolby Atmos and DTS-X support, along with precise height and surround cues, give movies, games, and music a three-dimensional feel that is rare for a single-bar solution. For medium to large living rooms, this soundbar can fill the space with cinematic sound while keeping the setup clean and minimal. However, the Flexus Core 300 does have some limitations. Despite its multiple drivers and subwoofers, the deepest sub-bass notes may still fall short of what a dedicated full-size subwoofer can achieve, meaning bass-heavy music and action movies might lack ultimate low-end impact. The surround and height effects, while impressive for a single-bar system, cannot fully replicate the precise object placement of a true multi-speaker Dolby Atmos setup with rear and ceiling channels. Additionally, the system is relatively large and may dominate smaller rooms, and some advanced tuning features require extra configuration to get the best performance. Overall, the Flexus Core 300 offers a highly immersive and convenient sound experience, but audiophiles seeking the ultimate in spatial precision or floor-shaking bass may still prefer a traditional multi-component home theater system. The Klipsch Flexus Core 300 also excels in versatility, easily handling movies, music, and gaming with consistent clarity and power. Its sleek, modern design fits well in most living spaces, blending style with performance. Overall, it provides a premium cinematic experience without the complexity of a full home theater setup. Number 1. Samsung Q990D. The Samsung HW-Q990D is a flagship-class all-in-one soundbar system that delivers a genuinely immersive, Dolby Atmos/DTS-X ready surround experience, with real 11.1.4 channel output across a front bar, wireless subwoofer, and rear satellite speakers. With 22 drivers in total, it creates a wide, multi-dimensional soundstage where overhead effects, surround ambience, and directional cues are convincingly rendered, making movies and games feel cinematic without needing a separate AVR or a forest of wired speakers. The subwoofer and rear speakers add strong bass and spatial depth, explosions, ambient rumble, and music basslines get real weight and presence while dialogue stays anchored and clear, thanks to the dedicated center channel. Its HDMI 2.1 inputs support 4K per 120Hz pass-through and gaming-friendly features, low latency, VRR/ALLM, so it's not just a movie bar, it doubles as a capable gaming sound platform. Add to that solid connectivity, Wi-Fi/Bluetooth streaming, network audio formats, smart integration, and adaptive audio tuning that analyzes your room and automatically adjusts output, and the Q990D becomes a feature-rich, future-ready hub for entertainment. That said, as impressive as the Q990D is, there are a few trade-offs and caveats worth keeping in mind. Given its size and ambition, you'll need decent room space for the sub and rear speakers to breathe. In small rooms or cramped setups, the surround/Atmos effect can feel less expansive or tight. While the bass is punchy and well-controlled for a bar-based system, it still can't quite reach the deepest sub-bass rumble or room-shaking lows that a large dedicated subwoofer, or dual sub-rig, can provide, so extreme action movie explosions or very bass-heavy music may fall a bit short of the fullest impact. Also, like many all-in-one systems, performance depends heavily on placement and room acoustics. Improper setup can lead to muddy bass or uneven sound. The system also skews towards modern digital sources. There are no analog inputs, so older devices, turntables, legacy audio gear, need converters or separate DACs. And finally, given its premium price and complexity, the Q990D can feel like overkill if you only use it for casual TV watching or light music. The investment shines most when you exploit its full surround, Atmos, and high-fidelity potential. And that wraps up today's journey through the world of tech wonders on high-tech. If you enjoyed this video and discovered some must-have gadgets, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You won't want to miss our daily dive into the latest and greatest in technology.